first knitting podcast. And also, excuse my crazy hair. We tried to control it with this bandana, but there's only so much you can do. I'm Sierra. I don't know what the name of my channel is yet. Haven't come up with one, but by the time you're seeing this, I have a name for my channel. And this is my first knitting podcast. I'm really excited about this channel because I feel like I finally found a hobby that I love and is not related to one of my businesses, which I will explain more about later. If you hear any dog noises, I have two puppies, Evie and Boomer. Boomer is 8, he's a mini Australian Shepherd, and Evie is 3, she's a miniature Labradoodle. And we live here in southern Indiana, me, the dogs, and my husband, Josh. What else? I guess I'll talk about how I got started knitting. So I'm a super newbie knitter. I am almost 25, but a few years ago in college over a spring break, I was bored, nothing else to do over spring break. And I was like, I'm gonna learn how to knit. And so I looked up a tutorial on YouTube, can't remember for the life of me whose video it was, and started knitting a green scarf. Got about this far on it and then quit, frogged it, and then I never touched knitting again. Now it's 2020, which I'm sure all of you know what that means, but since March I've been playing around with different hobbies, things to keep me occupied while I'm at home. I was working for a little bit, but right now I am not working. So I was like, I bet I could pick up knitting again, and decided to knit a pair of socks, which that was my first project, was a pair of socks. Yeah, I'm hoping that this channel is about all kinds of fiber arts because I'm also really into macrame. I used to cross stitch a ton when I was younger and would love to get back into it. I like doing embroidery. I embroidered some hats for our wedding party a few years ago. I really like embroidery. And I recently just got the cutest yellow sewing machine ever as an early Christmas present. So I'll be venturing into the world of sewing too. So all of that stuff will probably be found here. But I wanted to start out with the knitting podcast because I've been obsessed with watching them. I've watched so many knitting podcasts in the last month that I've been knitting. So yeah, I thought it'd be fun to start my own. And I have a few things to share that I've been working on in the last few weeks. I think that's everything. Okay, I got cut off. We should be good now. My husband called me. He's on his way home from work. But let's just go ahead and jump into FOs. If you're new to knitting, like I was less than a month ago, FOs stand for Finished Objects. And I have 2 to share, which is super exciting. So, like I said, the first thing I ever cast on was a pair of socks. These are the Cottage Socks. I've worn them once and they have not been washed, so if the bottoms look a little bit dirty, that's why. These are the Cottage Socks by Hooked on Tilly. I literally just typed into YouTube how to knit socks, and this was one of the first videos that came up. I obviously knew nothing about anything. I didn't know anything about what type of yarn to use. I didn't know anything about gauge. I didn't know anything about anything when I knit these. So I knit the same size that she knit in her video, which I think is maybe a medium. I think it's 44 stitches around maybe. But these are huge. They're too big around. The ribbing, I messed up on one of these. So it's supposed to be 2x2 rib at the top, and as you can see, there's 4 rows of knit stitches right there. And somewhere over here, oh yeah, it breaks up right here, breaks up over here. It switched from purls to knits. You can see that. Total newbie, but they work for lounging around the house. And I love them. I also knew nothing about yarn and I was picking yarn for this project, so I bought cotton yarn, which is not the best if you want your socks to be warm. These are pretty breezy. And I just went to Hobby Lobby and got yarn. This is the, I don't know if this is backwards for you, but this is the Yarn Bee Sugarwheel Cotton Solids. The white color, cream color, is Soft Gardenia. I think the pinkish color is Nutmeg, maybe? I feel like it was the name of a spice, but I don't have that label anymore to show you. This is I think this is sport weight or DK weight. This is DK weight yarn. I knit it on size 6 needles. I have no idea what weight yarn she recommended. I just grabbed yarn that I thought looked cute. But I knit them on size 6 circular needles. I knit the magic loop. Yeah, I think that's all for those. I will probably try to knit another pair of socks from that pattern now that I know what I'm doing, because they knit up really quickly since they use a chunkier yarn. Yeah, and use my new knowledge of gauge and yarn choices and yarn weights and all those things. My second FO is also a whip because I'm making 3 of them. Whip, if you're new, is work in progress. I'm knitting 3 of them, one for each of my friends for Christmas. Hopefully none of them find this channel before they get these. But I knit a Hogwarts scarf. So all 3 of my friends, there's like a group of 4 of us that have been friends since college, and we all love Harry Potter, and so I'm making them all scarves. All 3 of them happen to be Hogwarts. All 3 of them happen to be Hufflepuffs. I'm a Ravenclaw. I'm all by myself. Obviously, I have not done anything with the ends, and there are 1,000,003 ends. I've decided I'm just gonna knit all 3 of the scarves and then weave in all the ends at the end. But here it is. This is the Hogwarts scarf by Stitch. You can also find a video for this on YouTube. I will link this and the Cottage Socks video down below. Yeah, super easy. The whole thing is 1 by 1 rib, so it's really stretchy, but also it takes forever and a day to knit. But yeah, this is also yarn that I just picked up from Hobby Lobby. Let me see if I have I don't have here's one of the skeins for the yellow color. This is, let's see, Yarn Bee Soft Secret in Honey. This is 100% acrylic yarn. The honey is a worsted weight yarn. Again, I did not know any of this when I bought this yarn. I was just like, oh, these are the right colors. And then for the stripes, I was using I Love This yarn. This is also 100% acrylic in the color black. And to be honest, I bought both of these because the yarn was cheap. Luckily, they're like soft. They're not scratchy or anything. But yeah, this is sport weight yarn and the other one is worsted weight yarn. So clearly I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, those are the 2 yarns that I used. Both of those are from Hobby Lobby. One of them is finished. One of them is on my needles. I can show you that now. We can move into whips. Let's see, get my workstation figured out here. Here's my work in progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm on my 6th square out of 13 or 14, I can't remember. But here's my second one. These are also knit on size 6 or 4mm knitting needles. I'm using circular needles just because I already had them from doing magic loop on the socks, but you could also knit them on straight needles since it's not knit in the round or anything. So yeah, there's my second one. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about those. I don't think there is. I also started a pair of socks for my husband. After I knit myself socks, he wanted a pair of socks. So these are more standard socks, knit in fingering weight yarn on size 1 needles. I'm not sure what that is in millimeters. I will put it on the screen, what size that is in millimeters. But yeah, these are, I don't know if you can see the color, the lighting's kind of weird here. But this is the yarn. It is also from Hobby Lobby. It's this like variegated blue and light blue, medium blue, dark blue, navy, maybe some black in here. The color is Oceanic, and the brand is Premier Wool Free Sock. The sticker's in front of it, but Premier Wool Free Sock. 1 ball makes 1 sock. I'm not sure if Hobby Lobby is going to continue making this or selling this brand of yarn, because I think Yarn Bee has a sock yarn that's really similar, and the last time I went, there was a bunch of Yarn Bee where this brand used to be. So you might not be able to get this at Hobby Lobby anymore, but this is the Premier Wool Free Sock. The yarn itself has a little bit of like stretch to it, just a teeny bit. It's not super stretchy, but it does have, I don't know, a bit of stretch to it. I am using the Vanilla Sock on Magic Loop pattern by Crazy Sock Lady. I will link that video down below. She also has a paper pattern that you can download. For that, I'm pretty sure this is the size large, 72 stitches. It's a pretty basic sock. 1x1 ribbing, stockinette all the way down the leg. I think it's a heel flap, heel turn and gusset for the heel, I believe. Stockinette down the foot, and then Kitchener toe, I think. Not sure. Haven't gotten to that part of the pattern yet, but this is my second whip for my husband. Not sure when I'll get these done because I am doing a lot of gift knitting because I like to overpromise and underdeliver. Well, I don't like to, but that's usually what happens. So those are all my whips. Now I will move into acquisitions, which is really exciting. Back when I bought the sock yarn for my husband, I bought this ball of sock yarn for me. This is the Patons, maybe Patons brand. Oh, Yarnspirations Patons Kroy socks in the Midcentury stripes color. I just thought these colors were so pretty. And this is fingering weight yarn. I'm trying to see what it's made of. 75% wool, 25% nylon. Is this superwash? I'm not sure. It says care instructions on reverse side of label. So I'm not sure if this is superwash, but it probably is. I need to buy another ball of this because I'm pretty sure this is the same situation where one ball makes one sock. But I have this. Probably won't get to this until the first of the year because of all the gift knitting, but there's a cute ball of yarn. And then I decided that I wanted to knit my mother-in-law a sweater for Christmas. We're actually not seeing them for Christmas, we're seeing them for New Year's, so I have a little bit longer to finish this, and I'm really hoping I can crank it out. But I've never knit a sweater. As I said, I'm a very new knitter in general. Kind of crazy of me to decide to knit a sweater and a sweater on a deadline, but I'm doing it because that's the kind of person I am. So I bought this giant, this is so cheap. Okay, my husband and I are on a debt-free journey. If you've never heard of Dave Ramsey, look him up. We're following Dave Ramsey's baby steps, paying off all my student loans. So I'm having to do things kind of cheaply. So I knew I would need a bunch of different sizes of needles. I really like knitting on circulars, even if I'm not knitting in the round. And so I found this 10-pack of needles on Amazon from this Asian company, and the sizing is like completely wrong. Like this size 9 and 10 is actually size 3 and 4. And so I had to buy one of these to size out the needles. You can also use this for your gauge swatches. It has a little, you knit your gauge swatch and then you can count your number of stitches and your number of rows. Anyways, I got a 10-pack of these needles. I had to measure each one of them out and then write down what number of these corresponded to what US size of needle these are. But these are the needles I'll be using for the sweater. And the yarn just came in today and I'm so excited. Woo! This is Cascade Yarns Heritage, fingering weight, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I'm going to have to cake this up. I don't have a ball winder. I might do it by hand or I might try to find a cheap ball winder. But oh my gosh, this is my first yarn in like these beautiful skeins and I'm so excited. It is in the color cinnamon, I believe, and I got this off of lovecrafts.com. I will link it down below. I was just trying to find a pretty inexpensive but still soft and durable yarn that I could use to knit my first sweater for my mother-in-law. So there's that. That came in today. I think that's all of my acquisitions. My pack of needles and some yarns, my little gauge swatch. Ooh, when I brought my gauge swatch, I also got some little crane scissors. Pardon my nails, I need to redo them, but aren't those so cute? I don't know if that's focusing, but so cute. Got these from Hobby Lobby. They're not the greatest quality, but they're cute and they work. So there's that. And then I think for the format of the podcast, I'm going to do FOs, whips, acquisitions, and then future cast-ons or dream knits, things that I want to cast on. So you just heard me talking about the sweater that I'm going to knit for my mother-in-law. It is the Woolen Honey sweater. I'll put a picture of it right here, by Andrea Mowry, or Drea Renee Knits, I think, on Ravelry. I will link the pattern down below. I have it printed off here. The picture I insert will probably be better than this, but... So, I saw this and instantly fell in love. I want to knit one for myself after I knit this one for my mother-in-law. But my in-laws are beekeepers, so she's obsessed with all kinds of bee and honey things. And their honey is incredible. It's so yummy. So when I saw this, I knew I had to knit it for her. I hope she will love it. The yarn I got, I was trying to find a color that I thought would look good on her, but I actually ended up buying a similar color to the one that the sample is knit in. So that's kind of funny. But yes, this is let me see if there's another picture here. I'll insert another picture here so you can see the yoke pattern a little better. But it is a top-down sweater. The yoke has this really cool asymmetric honeycomb pattern, which is done by wrapping stitches. There are a lot of techniques in this sweater that I've never done before, including knitting a sweater at all. But I'm really excited. I've watched a lot of videos of people talking about this sweater that have knit it before me, so I'm feeling pretty confident. Obviously, you will get updates as I'm making it. Hopefully everything goes smoothly, but I'm very excited. I also am planning on knitting, not for Christmas, that's all my gift knits. The scarves and this sweater are all of my gift knits for this year. Probably, unless I decide to whip up some socks for someone, but probably not. I don't know that I'll have time for that. But I was watching Dunderknit. I will link her channel down below. If you don't watch her already, you should. She's hilarious. But I was watching her, and one of her old podcasts, she mentioned a sweater by Sylvia Watts Cherry, and it wasn't this sweater, or maybe she did mention this sweater in her episode, but I found this sweater that she designed. I will insert a picture of it right here. I'm pretty sure it's called the Nubian Queen sweater. But I decided I'm going to knit this for my mom. Again, I want to knit one for myself too, so I'll just have matching sweaters with my mother-in-law and my mom. But I thought she would love this. I'm probably going to modify it to have a turtleneck, just because my mom really likes turtleneck sweaters. So that'll be fun to modify a pattern for the first time. But yeah, that pattern is gorgeous, so unique. I'm very excited to do that one. That'll be my first color work project, unless you count this as color work, which I don't really. This was super easy to switch colors, but in the scarf. Yeah, that'll be my first color work pattern. First time modifying a pattern to have a turtleneck, and I'm very excited. It's so pretty, isn't it? Isn't it just the coolest thing ever? So that's all of my future cast-ons, dream knits, whatever you want to call them. I think I'll share some YouTubers, some podcasters that I have been loving recently. I don't know if I'll do this every week, because I don't know if I'll find new ones every week, but there are a ton of knitting podcasters. But so far, 3 of my favorites have been Xstitchmd. I will link all these channels down below, but Xstitchmd, she is a doctor living in Canada, and she does cross stitch and knitting, which I love. She's actually the reason why I want to get back into cross stitching, because I haven't done it in so long. I used to be obsessed with cross stitching, but she stitches the most beautiful things in the world, and she's also a knitter, so I've been watching her a lot. I also love Dunderknit, like I mentioned. I've gone back and watched like all 40 something of her episodes because I love her so much. She's so funny. Getting all the inspo for sweaters to knit from her. And then lastly, I have been watching Stress Knits. I believe her name on Instagram is Stress Knits Yarn, and she stress knits. Oh no, she's Stacey Elstone on YouTube, I think. I will link her down below. Properly. I will have all the correct links for all these people down below. But I love her. She's so chill. She has a yarn dyeing company, and her yarns are gorgeous. I'm probably going to ask for a sweater quantity of her yarn for Christmas or for my birthday, because her yarn is just beautiful. I love her color palettes. We have a very similar taste in like yarn colors and pattern styles. Like all the things she knits are amazing. She's obsessed with Andrea Mowry, which I am newly obsessed with Andrea Mowry because of her. I love Andrea Mowry's patterns. Stacy did a year of Andrea, where every month for a year she cast on a new Andrea Mowry pattern, and I'm obsessed. I'll link that video down below too. But yeah, I have loved watching all three of them. I am completely obsessed with knitting now. Hopefully I will be able to share more cross-stitching, sewing, macrameing, all those types of things on here as well. But for now, knitting podcasts will be a regular thing. I'm thinking I will probably upload every 2 weeks just because I'm not sure how much new progress I will have to share after 1 week, like doing it every week. So plan on seeing one of these again in 2 weeks. Thank you so much for watching. I know this one was kind of quick. I'm kind of rushing because my husband's on his way home from work. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to stick around. That would mean the world to me. And I will see you next time. Bye! The behind the scenes of filming a podcast episode. Gotta keep it real for y'all. Time to clean up this mess.